Said many times that if you get to be 65 or 70 and later, and the people that you want to have love you actually do love you, you're a success. I've never seen anybody that reaches that age. I mean, I'm not talking about somebody that's in extreme poverty or pain or something, but I've never seen anybody that, if they have a lot of people that love them, that is other than happy. And I've seen some very, very wealthy people that they give testimonial dinners to and name schools after and everything. Nobody loves them.
Never have cash around just to have cash. I mean, we would never think that we should have a cash position of X percent. And frankly, I think these asset allocation things that tacticians in Wall Street put out, about 60% stocks and 30%, we think that's total nonsense. So we want to have all our money working in decent businesses, but sometimes we can't find them, or sometimes cash comes in unexpectedly, or sometimes we sell something, and we have more cash around than we would like. And more cash around than we would like means that we have 10 or 15 cents around, because we want money employed, but we'll never employ it, just employ it. And you will find us quite unhappy over time if cash just keeps building up. And I think one way or another we'll find ways to use it. You may have trouble believing this, but Charlie and I never have an opinion about the market, because it wouldn't be any good, and it might interfere with the opinions we have that are good. If we're right about a business, if we think a business is attractive, it would be very foolish for us to not take action on that because we thought something about what the market was going to do, or anything of that sort, because we just don't know. And to give up something that you do know and that is profitable for something that you don't know and won't know because of that, it doesn't make any sense to us, and it doesn't really make any difference to us.
There's nothing magic. We like to put a lot of money in things that we feel strongly about, and that gets back to the diversification question. We think diversification, as practiced generally, makes very little sense for anyone that knows what they're doing. Diversification is a protection against ignorance. I mean, if you want to make sure that nothing bad happens to you relative to the market, you own everything. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that is a perfectly sound approach for somebody who does not feel they know how to analyze businesses. If you know how to analyze businesses and value businesses, it's crazy to own 50 stocks or 40 stocks or 30 stocks probably, because there aren't that many wonderful businesses that are understandable to a single human being in all likelihood. And to have some super wonderful business and then put money in number 30 or 35 on your list of attractiveness and forego putting more money into number 1 just strikes Charlie and me as madness. It's conventional practice, and if all you have to achieve is average, it's a confession in our view that you don't really understand the businesses that you own. On a personal portfolio basis, I own 1 stock, but it's a business I know, and it leaves me very comfortable. Do I need to own 28 stocks in order to have proper diversification? It'd be nonsense. 3 wonderful businesses. It's more than you need in this life to do very well. The average person isn't going to run into that. I mean, if you look at how the fortunes were built in this country, they weren't built out of a portfolio of 50 companies. They were built by someone who identified with a wonderful business.
Much of what is taught in modern corporate finance courses is twaddle.
Have you pretend I've made you a great offer, and I've told you that you could pick any one of your classmates, and you now know each other probably pretty well after being here for a while. You'd have 24 hours to think it over, and you can pick any one of your classmates, and you get 10% of their earnings for the rest of their lives. I ask you what goes through your mind in determining which one of those you would pick. You can't pick the one with the richest father. That doesn't count. I mean, you've got to do this on merit. But you probably wouldn't pick the person that gets the highest grades in the class. I mean, there's nothing wrong with getting the highest grades in the class, but that isn't going to be the quality that sets apart a big winner from the rest of the pack. Think about who you would pick and why. And I think you'll find when you get through, you'll pick some individual. You've all got the ability. You wouldn't be here otherwise. You've all got the energy. I mean, you've got the initiative is here, the intelligence is here throughout the class. But some of you are going to be bigger winners than others. And it gets down to a bunch of qualities that, interestingly enough, are self-made. I mean, it's not how tall you are. It's not whether you can kick a football 60 yards. It's not whether you can run the 100-yard dash in 10 seconds. It's not whether you're the best-looking person in the room. It's a whole bunch of qualities that really come out of Ben Franklin or the Boy Scout code or so, whatever it may be. I mean, it's integrity, it's honesty, it's generosity, it's being willing to do more than your share. It's just all those qualities that are self-selected. And then if you look on the other side of the ledger, because there's always a catch to these, free gifts and genie jokes. So you also have to, and this is the fun part, you also have to sell short one of your classmates and pay 10% of what they do. So who do you think is going to do the worst in the class? This is way more fun. And think about it again. And again, it isn't the person with the lowest grades or anything of the sort. It's the person who just doesn't shape up in the character department. I mean, we look for three things when we hire people. We look for intelligence, we look for initiative or energy, and we look for integrity. And if they don't have the latter, the first two will kill you. Because if you're going to get somebody without integrity, you want them lazy and dumb. I mean, you don't want them smart and energetic. So it's that third quality, but everything about that quality is your choice. You can't change the way you are wired much, but you can change a lot of what you do with that wiring. And it's the habits that you generate now on those qualities, or those negative qualities. I mean, the person who always claims credit for things they didn't do, that always cuts corners, that you can't count on. In the end, those are habit patterns. And the time to form the right habits is when you're your age. I mean, it doesn't do me much good to get golf lessons now. If I'd gotten golf lessons when I was your age, I might be a decent golfer. But someone once said the chains of habit are too light to be felt until they're too heavy to be broken. And I see that all the time. I see people with habit patterns that are self-destructive.
Comfortable today with what you're giving? I mean, does it feel?
It's exactly what I want to do.
Does it feel like the right thing to be doing right now?
It's the right thing because it's going to people who believe, as the Gates, for example, that every life is of equal value. I mean, the truth is, I've got a lot of wealth, little pieces of paper, with Berkshire Hathaway on it. They're claim checks on all kinds of goods and services in the world. They can buy anything. I can buy 400-foot yachts and have 20 homes and all that. I wouldn't be happier, but they can buy anything. And once they move into the hands of people who are working like hell on getting something accomplished in areas I want them to, I love the idea of getting amused, and that's what they're doing.
Three things in hiring people: look for integrity, intelligence, and energy. If that person didn't have the first two, that the latter two would kill them. Because if they don't have integrity, you want them dumb and lazy. You don't want them smart and energetic.
Well, I think I stay healthy partly by being happy, actually. I think I think it really helps if your stomach isn't grinding all the time and you're doing things you don't want to do, or you're working with people that, So I've gone very light on the diet advice. I eat like a normal 6-year-old, but if you look at the mortality statistics, I mean, 6-year-olds don't die very often. I mean, that diet's doing something for them. If I gave you a car and it'd be the only car you get the rest of your life, you take care of it like you can't believe. Any scratch, you'd fix that moment. You'd read the owner's manual. You'd keep a garage and do all these things. And you get exactly one mind and one body in this world. And you can't start taking care of it when you're 50. By that time, you'll have rusted out if you haven't done anything. So you should really make sure that you just remember that you just got one body.